we help contractors by the hundreds with all of the administrative burdens that surround handling their construction projects. That means helping them with estimating, working with them on all the administration of their supplements, and doing the administrative services back office work that enables them to focus on selling, building, and billing.
We see contractors just starting off, maybe they're struggling with the fundamentals of running a construction business. They partner up with us, their process is now defined, they're able to grow their profit margins and actually scale because they're not held back with the burden of dealing with the supplementing process. I feel proud of what we've been able to do in this industry.
This is Larry Bache with the Merlin Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Merlin Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the for changing from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor that's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
Good afternoon, everybody. Lead meteorologist John Choquette here for our daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, NARA Supplement, and Balance Claims. You can check them out in the description below if you're watching us here on the Hail Trace Facebook page. So we got a bunch to talk about today. We have a chance for some hail for anywhere from here in Oklahoma to South Dakota all the way to the East Coast. Today we've already had some hail near the Columbus, Ohio area. And we have another risk for hail tomorrow as well for Kansas and Nebraska. More conditional risk, I think. So basically, if things line up just right, you could see some hail. And we're continuing to check in on Cristobal in the Gulf of Mexico. I think right now he's now a tropical depression, and so we'll talk about that and see where he's going to go here in a second. Upcoming events here we have, this was going to be today, but it looks like we're going to be doing some storm chasing for the news channel. This afternoon. I'm the only one that's able to get these set up, so likely going to be tomorrow at 6:45 p.m. Leah Klein, Derek's wife, here for our 10-year anniversary special, so make sure you check it out. This is a pretty good one here. Second to last video for this. So, I did not describe Ohio's East Coast thing. There was something in Ohio, but there is a chance all the way to the East Coast. So anyway, yesterday's wind maps here, we had a pretty substantial derecho going from outside of Philly down through the East Coast. There's actually a second line of storms that moved through the Philadelphia area yesterday evening as well, and that's a 3-star wind map for you. Harrisburg, Reading, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Toms River, New Jersey is a derecho event. Maximum wind speeds up to 89 miles per hour happened with this pretty crazy little storm. These are just a couple pictures I grabbed specifically from the Philadelphia metro. You can see, I don't know what collapsed there from the wind. We had some siding ripped off from the wind, and it's always pretty intense winds when you get the air conditioner units to not go off their little bases like that. So it's a pretty intense little storm. You'll check that out below. Not really expecting too much in the way of derecho winds today, but there is quite a bit of hail risk areas across the country. The most significant of which is going to be in South Dakota up by Rapid City. Could see some pretty intense looking storms, long track supercells over by Rapid City, extending all the way to probably flirting with the Sioux Falls area. Could see some tennis ball, maybe even baseball size hail with this. Anywhere in that hatched zone, moderate chance Rapid City. Omaha, low end chance. Most likely storms are going to be off to the west of you. Kansas City, low end chance, something maybe late overnight. Here in Oklahoma City, I think there will be storms today. I think they're going to be to the west of the city with your best chance. I think the hail isn't going to be crazy anywhere from Amarillo up through probably, I'd say, near Enid, Oklahoma. You could see some hail possibly getting to golf ball size isolated. More likely, if there is any hail with this, it'll be $quarter to $half size across most of Oklahoma here. With any storms that do happen, wind threat might be a little higher, might be some strong downdraft winds upwards of 65 miles an hour. Lubbock, outside chance to see some storms. And here along the East Coast, so pretty much from the Delmarva Peninsula points west. So here in Ohio, again, we already mentioned we had some golf ball size hail, probably pretty isolated in Marysville, Ohio, just before the video went live here. And it could be more activity across Ohio for the remainder of this afternoon, possibly into western Pennsylvania. Could even see a couple popcorn storms down south towards Nashville and extending west towards the Mississippi River Valley. But I think for the most part, that main focus of the biggest hail will be in South Dakota today. So we're going to break this down city by city, just a couple cities here. If not, I'm going to be here all day. Rapid City, between 6 and 10 p.m. and your best chance for hail, you have up to tennis balls, moderate, almost high chance of at least quarters, and a moderate chance of it being golf ball size hail or larger. Rapid City isn't super big, so I think it could really be a little challenging to hit the city itself, but where they are located on the lee side of the Black Hills, you could definitely see storms forming right by you and then moving through, and again, they could be pretty intense. And then the only other city I picked was Oklahoma City, between 8 and 10 p.m. If they do manage to meander into the metro, we could see maybe ping pong ball size hail, maybe. That's the absolute best case scenario for hail in Oklahoma City today. So a low chance of quarter size hail and very low chance of anything closer to that golf ball size. And that future radar starting, we're going to go north to south here, starting in the Dakotas and Nebraska. You can see those pretty intense individual supercells moving through this evening. Again, those are going to be the highest chance of seeing anything upwards of baseball size. Probably some pretty prolific hailers today across the Dakotas. And then pushing further south to the Central Plains, you can see the storms forming here in Oklahoma and parts of the Texas Panhandle this afternoon to this evening. They flirt with the Oklahoma City metro, but I really don't think we're going to see too much in Oklahoma. But there will be activity to be had across western Oklahoma and over into the Panhandle, parts of Kansas, and even up towards Nebraska. And finally, shifting east to the Ohio River Valley, you can see those storms forming all over the place across the Ohio River Valley. Again, kind of the isolated pop-up storms for this afternoon and into the evening hours. Quarter, $half size hail. Can't rule out if one storm gets particularly strong, like the one by Columbus, Ohio, not too long ago, could have some up to golf ball size hail, but for the most part, that popcorn variety thunderstorm. So that's what we're looking at for today. Tomorrow, we've got two areas we're looking at here. First of which, up by Billings, Montana, there will be some storms, but the hail threat likely only about quarter to $half size at best. And then here from Omaha to Kansas City, low end chance, conditional risk. Chance we could see some storms pop up here, and if they do, could have up to golf ball size hail. But we'll have to kind of see how things play out tonight. This might not be there tomorrow. We'll have to see how it rolls. Even looking at the future radar here, that nothing shows up through 7 p.m. tomorrow on the RRR model, actually showing stuff out to the west a little bit. So we'll see how this plays out. Again, this is all coming down to what happens tonight, leaving boundaries to trigger storms for your evening tomorrow. So we'll be watching that carefully. And finally up here up north by Montana, a couple storms are likely going to form in the evening hours, but not particularly intense, only near marginal severe hail at best with that. So looking ahead beyond the work week, starting on your Saturday, I know somebody's asking about Colorado. Yes, Colorado does have a chance for some hail along the Front Range on your Saturday. Probably a more significant threat up here in Montana and the Dakotas for your Saturday, and then even a chance for some storms extending out towards the Nebraska and Kansas area, where this could end up actually being kind of similar to what we could see on Friday, just extending into the morning hours on Saturday. Pushing forward to Sunday, the big risk that is going to be pretty significant for Canada, but here in the United States, North Dakota, Fargo, Bismarck, that area down to by Aberdeen, South Dakota, and then parts of far western Minnesota could see some hail as well. And then on Monday, kind of the same basic area, just shifting a little bit further south, Fargo, south to Sioux Falls, and then into far northern Nebraska. So that's what we're looking at here through the rest of the work week and through this upcoming weekend. Now we're going to check in on right now Tropical Depression crystal ball. Looking a little rough compared to this time yesterday. Made landfall and he's just kind of hanging out in the Yucatan Peninsula. Eventually, over the next about probably 36 hours or so, he will end up, 48 hours, excuse me, pull off of the Yucatan Peninsula and back into the Gulf of Mexico, where he's expected to re-strengthen and the National Hurricane Center is getting more confident that there will be a landfall somewhere in southern Louisiana, likely not as a hurricane. So it probably will re-strengthen a bit over the weekend, but there's a lot of shear in the atmosphere, which is really good for tornadoes, but kind of garbage for a hurricane. So it's going to really limit its ability to strengthen that much, along with the fact that, I mean, it is early June. This is the very beginning of hurricane season. It's a little challenging to get those stronger storms on your beginning of May or June, whatever month we're in. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Likely not going to be chasing this one. We're going to wait till we actually see a real hurricane before we go take the truck out to the coast. So follow us here on YouTube. You can stream our live videos there, or anything really at all on our Hail Trace channel. You can check us out here on Facebook, where I'm sure most of you watch us on. Hit see first, you never miss a post. Instagram and Twitter at Hail Trace, and you can check out our content there as well. And also follow Derek's KOCO Storm Chaser page, where we will be out chasing today in Oklahoma. And finally, give us a call at 855-334-4245. Any comments, questions, or concerns you need to set up a training, whatever it may be, it's a great number to call. You can email us as well at info@hailtrace.com, and visit our website at hailtrace.com for more details. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll see you again tomorrow at 12 p.m. You can probably check out my driving a little bit later if you'd follow Derek's KOCO page. And have a great Thursday. See you tomorrow.